electric rates, water, sewer.
All right, well, I want to talk through this a little bit. It starts on page 29. This is that same spreadsheet that was in the packet last time. This is the study from an MPP Energy about determining revenue needs for, it started out with last year and then for this upcoming year. So the year that we are looking at would be the 2012 year as far as determining those revenue needs, and that's where it proposes that 11.9% increase. Okay, this is the same as what we had talked about this time last year, that the year 2 increase was going to be that much. So everything is consistent with what we had talked about in the past. So if you flip to the next page, though, on page 30, these are the proposed percent increases across each class. Because we do want, each class certainly to be pulling its own weight as far as what the associated costs are to serve that. But this still has kind of that 3% guideline built into it. That we were going at 11.9% for an overall increase, and the rates would be, for each class, would be 3% plus or minus from that. So that's why you see the deviation in the difference in that in the difference percentage column. That makes sense to you that rural residential has a lower percent increase, and you see the highest one is the public authority. But also note that demand charges will continue to go up quite a little bit. It's proposed at 13.6%.
Have you heard anything from Evapco or anybody like that?
No, this is.
Those are the people who are really.
Are we still quite a bit lower than like REC for our?
Well, by far.
Okay.
I'm just concerned because I know Evapco is thinking about expanding, and that's a great thing. Just don't want to scare them away, but if they haven't said that.
Well, this has just been discussion so far with the council too, just kind of bringing this out into the open really now for the first time about getting it out to the public what these numbers are proposed to be. I think that.
Well, I don't think this is the first time, Scott. Last
No,
year when you passed the
absolutely
first
not.
one, it was all in there that this is.
Yep, it's going to happen again. You bet. So that is the proposal for percentages. Let's flip to the next page 31 then. This is where you actually see what they proposed for rates. So this is the proposal for yeah, I hope I didn't screw this up because I did. Where excuse me, the current rates and then what the proposed rates are. Because it has some errors in it because the current customer charge for residential is $14. It's not proposed to change. So you can see that the first 1,000 kilowatt hours is at 6.3 cents currently, and after that's 4.5. That proposes to go up to 6.9 and 4.7. And for each one of these, what I've done is come up with a small user and average user. I apologize, but that thing is completely wrong. I gave you the wrong year.
Scott, is it still in the same realm as it used to be when the rural area is 1.5 times what it is city then, or not?
And that had applied to water and sewer on 1.5. Rural area for electric just has a different rate class. I gave you the wrong information in the packet. I got to go print out a different one.
Try out that new printer.
There we go.
We don't need it in color.
Kurt, you cut to a commercial break.
Jerry, the engineer bases it on the cost to serve that customer, is how it's based on. And that's why
I figured it costs more to serve the customer in the rural area than in the city, wouldn't it?
it does.
Even if the rate was, be cheaper in the rural areas.
I think the increase is less, Jerry, but I think the rate is still high.
Okay.
If you look at the cost per kilowatt here, and then also they pay for the first 2,000, where our step is the first 1,000.
So the formula's different than.
Right, it is.
I see.
But it's actually based on how the customers are far away from town. That, one transfer basically feeds one customer.
It just seems
costs
to
them.
me to deliver the power to them would be, a lot more expensive than trying in the city it would be.
That probably helps out with farm buildings that sit and only get used during the harvest.
That's why the customer charges. The customer charge is based just to have the service there
Yeah.
without any kilowatts sold.
And there's probably a lot of places only get used like 1 or 2 months a year and
Yes.
they sit. But you still got a line still.
The customer charge is the charge to serve that customer just for the infrastructure. The kilowatt hour is the power, the cost of the electricity to sell it to that customer.
Just then where you can tell some jokes right now.
Curtis, I figured you'd be out knocking on doors tonight, the night before the election.
This is 1,100 houses yesterday.
Holy smokes.
That's more than the whole county.
Every house, did you go to every house in town?
Yeah.
Wow.
You went to each one?
Well, I flyered each one. I have a detailed flyer about my plan for business recruitment. I figured since the paper wasn't covering the race.
Yeah, you could have done it all.
You done what?
You could be here.
Let me give you something.
I don't think I worked that hard.
I said since our newspaper of record isn't covering the race, I thought maybe I'd go out and put my own information out.
I do like that our newspaper does that, meet the candidates. Kind of puts you a deer in the headlight look, but. I remember mine was like this much and some people's were like a page and a half. Oh boy, oh boy.
Some had bigger dreams.
Yeah, but look what you started with, sending out the flyer thing.
Yeah.
Now apparently that's a necessity.
Nobody's using here.
Well, must have
When
worked.
everybody hears Schrader, they think I'm one of the ones that
Think
live
you've got big money. You don't?
There goes that idea.
That's what we had everybody burning in.
Sure.
Sorry about that. Need the one that says 2012. Did you get one, Bill? Did you get one?
Should give the electric guy a look, shouldn't we?
Hey, I don't think he was sitting back there.
I walked in behind you.
This makes quite a little bit more sense. Where we're looking at the residential one where the current customer charges $14, it was proposed to go to $15. First 1,000 kilowatt hours are at 6.9 cents, we proposed to go to 7.5 cents. And over 1,000 kilowatt hours, it's 4.7, and proposed to go to 6.2. Okay, so as you compare the small and average and large user, you see what happens to the percentage increase on that. For the small guy or the average guy, it is running about 8%. For the larger user, the percentage increase is a lot bigger. And it has to do with that second step. What is now 4.7 cents is proposed to go to 6.2 cents. And as you look through these rates, that's what you would see is that the higher user, percentage-wise, tends to have a higher percentage increase. And that's, the philosophy there is in this time of, energy conservation, that type of stuff, you're really looking for your higher users to, responsibly use power, I guess would be maybe is a way to put it. But if they end up using more, they end up paying more. So, I'm interested in your thoughts on that philosophy.
I'm gonna tell you, this would cost me $300 a month.
Easy.
Probably. But,
So I said
I'm
this.
sure that's my fair share.
Well, this is the proposal from NMPP.
Yeah.
If you say, no, I don't want the higher users to have to get dinged too much worse than
I'm
the
not gonna
normal.
go there because I'm one of the higher users. But,
Yeah.
I can see that it'll cost my daughter $2.80 a month. I think she could probably swing that and give it a big raise.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think you're right.
Can you go over three-phase?
Yeah, let's just kind of walk through the rest of them. As you see, the rural, the customer charges $19, proposed to stay that way. And you see the lower tier on both rural and commercial, as we see it next to it, is the first 2,000 kilowatt hours. So commercial folks pay, on the first 2,000, they pay that higher rate. So it's at 8.5 cents now, proposed to go to 8.8. And again, over 2,000, it's at 5 cents now and proposed to go to 6.5. So see what happens to the percent increase for the larger user. In that farm use, oftentimes though, it really is the guy who's drying or something like that, and it's a large use for a couple, 2 or 3 months.
So their price goes down after 2,000?
Yeah, well, it does on the residential also. Second tier is cheaper than the first tier.
Well, I guess you're right. Pay attention to it.
Then as you look at commercial on the back, again, no proposed change in the customer charge, from 8 cents to 8.8 cents on the first 2,000, but from 4.5 cents to 6 cents on anything over 2,000. So you can see how that percent increase plays out again for what would be the larger user. Okay? Then that three-phase demand. Customer charge is currently $25, proposed to go to $30. So that is the minimum charge that folks would get assessed. The big thing now, and this was the largest kind of single point of increase last time too, dealt with the cost of demand KW of power. Okay? And it will be proposed to be pretty large. Again, it's $9.75 per KW right now, and it's proposed to go to $11. Okay, the kilowatt hours is always consistent at the it had been 3.32, proposed to be 3.8 cents. So if you look at this, though, as far as the average three-phase user, and it's hard to come up with averages because everybody is really different in regards to three-phase power. But if the average user is Farmers State Bank, you can see what their annual bills would be, their monthly bill. And that larger user, if we said Evapco is one of the larger users, see that in this case there's not a dramatic change in the percent increase. The only change, really revolving around that customer charge. That make sense?
Do you think by raising it, the three-phase from last year, do you think will push any businesses away that were looking to come here, or is that quite a jump, or?
Well,
Because, that's, if the businesses coming there, a factory or something that's looking to come, that's one thing they're gonna look at is a three-phase. cost.
Do we have what Sac City charges? Do we know that?
We do, but I didn't pull any of that stuff out. You got those comparables, Bill? From
I found just the.
RECs and Mid-Americans and
Is that in this book here, Scott?
last year's it was. Well, I don't know if it's in the book, but I certainly do have it.
Didn't we talk last year a little more about having this 5-year plan in order to stay ahead of the curve a little bit?
Yeah, but I think we also talked about if things were right, we maybe wouldn't have to go over the numbers.
Is everything right?
Not as of this month, we're still carrying a little negative balance in the electric fund. But it's going in the right direction. Just, again, the concept here is that each rate class pays their own way based upon the cost of serving that rate class. And, you know, I get the argument, especially with three-phase users, is that it costs more to serve them.
How much did we pay NMPP, whatever it was, to do the survey?
To do a 4-year plan, we paid them $6,000. They were by far the least expensive option.
That was their recommendation.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm not sure that it makes it right. Yeah, and I can understand that the three-phase customer, you know, according to their study, it says they need to be paying more. I'm more interested in the allocation across the small user to the big user. Do you think that's?
I'm really concerned about the business ones, and not just for me. There's a lot of business in this town and just hanging on by their feet. And we make each one of them, they're all equivalent to Farm State Bank and what they're using. So we're talking $300 a month for daydreamers, for artworks.
You see, no, but we're not. Those are commercial accounts, not three-phase accounts.
Okay, but even in the commercial account,
Yeah.
we're talking a big increase for those people. Do we kill one of them by doing that? And there's a good chance we do. I mean, I don't know what anybody's financial status is, but I know how hard it is to make a living in this town. That's a lot of money.
I guess I'd like to know where we're at with three-phase with other cities. I mean, we got three-phase out there where people know how we're building that road, and I'd hate that if we were, you know, way more than, you know, Sac City or Carroll, and we
Exactly,
hate to
we're
lose the
gonna build up
business. I mean, that's something I'd like to know, I guess. Maybe it costs us a little more to get there, but I mean, you know, other towns can do it cheaper, because I don't know that. I mean, I know it's based on what it costs us to run the power there, but if we're not competitive, we're not gonna get business.
I can get that. You know, pretty easy. NMPP provided that to us last time, and I'm sure they can do that again.
That's a big issue right now in Auburn,
Three-phase?
the cost. Businesses.
So when you look at this though, as far as the allocation of, does the overall percent, the 11.9% increase strike you, or does the specific allocation to one sector over the other strike you as?
Well, it's probably the one sector over the other, because, you know, I know we're increasing everybody, but like I said, my daughter's gonna get my free seat, she's not even gonna notice it happening. And most, 90% of people, so I'll guarantee you, that person who writes that other check, on the NAPCO's gonna know what happened.
Did he have listers? There's by utility. And then over here, the next pages they have your actual costs are in there. You can control the utilities.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not been
There's some towns on the
High,
other
low.
side of
Scott, did you have time to read this?
Read a wall.
Around the first of the year. But
What's their numbers?
if we were ready to proceed at the next meeting, it may be that we could do this effective for usage after middle of December. But otherwise,
Yeah,
more than likely, it's for usage after the middle of January. So that would be the March 1st bill that the increase would come.
hey, Bill, when they figured that three-phase, did they,
So we got a little bit of time.
Take into
We had
account,
one
like,
meeting
Yeah,
to-
that's what I wanted.
you know, we're not busy out there with our pit, but yet we have all that infrastructure running out
Get some
there, is that
comparables on.
jack around the average, or?
Were those increases from last year? they
No, because
affect
your customer
2000
charge is
March
based
of
mostly on that,
2011?
Yes, yeah.
the
And you're
infrastructure.
having the same
Okay.
discussion about a year ago.
Mhm.
I just,
They basically look, Ben, like, you know, we lost one big
You're
customer
right, there's a lot of
here when we gained one there.
This guy's
Okay.
So it's basically a wash, you know.
It's
No
terrible.
matter what you're selling, it really hasn't been good.
Well, let me get some comparables. We'll show you the comparables on that.
But if we take it away somewhere, we gotta put it back in somewhere else.
Well, and that's my other
We gotta have money.
question is, do you want to see some other proposal that doesn't hit the big user as
Well, let's
much?
just see the comparables, I think,
we got a little time left.
yeah. I don't want us going out there and saying, okay, now everybody, with a house, the G rate's gotta go up twice what we said it was, so the evaporative rate doesn't go up, I don't wanna do that either.
I do.
And if we're way cheaper than other cities, I'll have no problem.
On this page here, that's what they're basing everything on.
You don't use
On
water.
your target prices. You know, how much you have in the bank at the end of the year, so if you wanna lower your target prices, that's what they're gonna base everything on. Right.
I don't. It's hard to sit here 2 hours or an hour or whatever we got.
Oh,
Pull
absolutely.
somebody this hard without at least thinking about it a little more.
Yeah.
So everybody be more comfortable, we still have some rates next meeting?
Yeah, I'll bring back some comparable rates on that. But I also wanted to talk just briefly about water sewer. Because we did say,
Just one more thing, Sal, on electric. A lot of utilities are going to just one rate. You know, it's 6 cents, no matter how many kilowatts you use. And some utilities are going even further than that. The more you use, the more it costs you. So that's kind of what the trend's been, what we're seeing in the state. Because it costs, the more power you buy, the more it costs you. But I mean, this is the standard way, what we do.
just on water and sewer, we had said that we would have an annual adjustment of water and sewer rates equivalent to the consumer price index. Okay, so for the past 12 months, and this is October of 10 through September of 11, that is 3.9%. Okay, currently, our base rate is $10.05, and this would and it costs $4.05 for 1,000 gallons of water. And this would take it up to, from $10.05 for a base to $10.50, and from $4.05 per thousand to $4.10, I think.
You
But
got
Kate-
anywhere what it does to our checking account?
The total dollars?
Yeah.
I had Kay run those for this past year and had some inconsistencies the one time she ran it, so I wanted to run those again. But just, that's basically what we're dealing with is, like I said, probably 45 cents increase in the base.
But I mean, does that, our sewer fund is always underwater. Are we closer?
This will help us.
Do we, I mean, it seems like every year we gotta take money from somewhere else and put it in there.
Yeah.
And I don't want the electric rates to go up to cover somebody's sewer.
Yeah, which they don't, anything in the electric fund.
No, what I'm saying is, we're taking that money from somewhere to cover that account. If it doesn't pay its own way.
We've done projects like that through sales tax, that's true.
Stand on its own merit.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I say, but I had Kay run these numbers just on Friday, and the one time we ran them, it had some inconsistencies I wanted to review before I brought them to the council. But the number, I guess, here is 3.9%, and I'll have numbers next time too that show you the dollars on that, because it was significant. But I hate to even tell you because I don't recall what they are.
We'll go through that next meeting.
Yep.
You gotta do garbage too.
Yeah, we didn't propose any annual adjustment in that. And for now, it's
It's above water.
above water for the moment. And I'm sure we'll take a look at that again
We're gonna
during,
brought it up then.
That's rare. That's rare.
we'll look at that again during budget time, but for now.